Just look at the water. Put on the water. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Wow. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grit. Jimmy Hitchman with this chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. It's a bad bitch on the elevator, I'ma let her in. Let your hater be a motivator, I can't let you win. Evil genius, human calculator, stack it by the 10. Put the Lambo on the elevator, bring it to the den. Put the Mustang by the balcony, I'm fly like Peter Pan. I'm so glad they turned their back on me, cause we weren't really friends. And it ain't even 10, and I woke up on a 10. And I don't need no pen, now I don't need no pad. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. Gotta keep them snipers with me, dawg. I got more enemies than 50, dawg. He popped a burger, said he nodding off. On higher look, they just might pop it off. 11 o'clock, she popped the nutter off. That bitch so bougie, yeah, she bad enough. That bitch so thick, you know she lit enough. It's Gucci, man, you know it's bricks involved. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip.
Today, we're going to talk about the downfall of the Commanders, Monday Night Football plays, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up, and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke, and I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good, but my goodness, did we think it was going to be Big Christmas?
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Monday, episode 591 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by SeatGeek. If you're not buying your tickets on SeatGeek, what are you doing? Start buying your tickets on SeatGeek today. Download the app. Low fees. Put in promo code Bookit10 and get 10% off all of your ticket purchases going forward. Start using SeatGeek. Get involved. All right, change a life. Get cheaper tickets on SeatGeek. Jovan, happy Monday. How we doing? Your Bucks took care of business this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah. Can't even say anything about it. They should take care of business against fucking Tommy DeVito. But
I love seeing that Tommy DeVito celebration from Baker Mayfield. Let him have it.
Awesome. That was
Let them have it. So much grit, so much heart from Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. That team is good. That team is good once again. If I were you, I'd be stoked. If I was me, I'd be pretty pissed. And we'll talk about that in a moment. You should be stoked. You should be stoked.
No, dude. Because now it's going to play out exactly the way that I said. They're going to make this run because they play. Now they're going to be playing Desmond Ridder for the Raiders. Like they're playing the Panthers twice. They're playing all these shit teams. So they're going to be just good enough to where we're going to see Todd Bowles next season. And I'm going to be in Ratchet.
Would you take that for a playoff trip this year, though?
No.
Wow.
So they go to the playoffs. They're getting smoked. It's going to be the same thing we saw through the little stretch where they're playing the Niners, Chiefs, and all the actual teams worth of shit.
All right. I mean, it's going to be tough without Chris Godwin. That's for sure. You already know it is. But look, I still like that Bucs team, and I think they got a chance. I'm not as big of a Todd Bowles hater as you are, but you're a fan of the team. You know better than me. So I'll go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt there. And we'll talk about our teams here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and hop right into the recap for the squad rides. We'll get into those. Not our best work this weekend. San Jose State piss. Unbelievable.
The game's weird, dude. I don't know if I've ever seen it rain that hard in the state of California. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, great looking bet through 2.5 quarters. Looking great. And then they blew it once again, back-to-back weeks. Coach Ken, thanks. Appreciate that, my man. Well, at least Kansas came through, right? Beat Colorado. Gosh, man, they spanked them. Shout out Devin Neal. He's him.
Devin Neal.
That one was personal.
I was up all night thinking about why I didn't bomb a Devin Neal, Bucky Irving two-piece. That was like two of the most dominant performances of the weekend.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
100%. And it was never the Colts who got their shit kicked in, and the Lions won their millionth game in a row and covered again, and all the squares are rich. Right? Plain and simple. Gosh, man. All right. Let's go ahead and hop into the Friday Sharp Report recap. We'll take a peep at the plays from Friday, see how we did. 2 and 3 from me. Shout out San Jose State. Shout out St. Louis. Moose at play. Peyton Pritchard had the first 7 points of the game on Friday and didn't score the rest of the game. So that was cool. Nick Nash finally didn't do something. We'll respect coins. That sucks. And San Jose State and VCU, I mean, they blew that game late. Fuck.
Classic. Shout out the Rams.
Unbelievable. What about the Hail Mary and the Five Guys? Let's take a peep at that. See how we did this weekend. Malachi Field, sure. Sam Darnold, sure. 2 moose shit squares we put meat on tape for that cost us coins.
Quail.
I mean, look at the Hail Mary, dudes. ODU blew it. That game was fucking absurd if you watch the end of that one. Give me a break. Santa Clara was up 7 points with like 40 seconds left and lost outright. Insane. Colts didn't do job. Bucks did. Love to see that. Ravens will do job tonight. Fuck. Fake sharp Hail Mary, man.
We might just have to start overlapping. Stop saving the plays, Krabs. That might be the new strat for next week or for this week.
Yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board because we hit 4 or 5 of these last year between the two of them. We haven't hit one yet besides, a 2Xer or a push. It's not good enough. Plain and simple. Okay. Chat, we'll talk about this Monday Night Football game plenty here. Let's go ahead and finish up these recaps. We'll take a peep at the Saturday and Sunday meat sheets and see how we did over there. Much better on straight bets yesterday, that's for sure. Only 2 losers on there were the Colts and Vanderbilt. Late night CBB, they blew that game too. That was cool. Prize Pick Squares, not our best work yesterday. Shout out JD5 for getting in the end zone, though. Sure.
Always was.
Sure. And then Saturday was pretty solid. Very good on straight bets and not the best on prize picks for either day. But as you guys can take a peep here and look at the top left and top right sectors, the sides were sharp. The prize pick squares were not. To be as brief and concise as possible. Straight bets were great this weekend. Had a field day on Saturday with college football. Had a good day yesterday as well. I hope you did too, Jovan.
Yeah, we did go
good
4-0 with our meat on tabs this week.
We did. Great call. Yes, meat on tabs. They came through. They respect the coins. Love to see it. What about the college football and NFL previews? Can we take a peep at those? Speak of the devil. College for me, not my best work, but we've got 4 greens and 3 reds. We take it. Not happy about it, but we take it. I mean, UVA on that card is absurd. Michigan team, the losers were bad. The UVA and Michigan were terrible plays. Josh Hoover, I mean, come on. They handed the ball off to your guy twice for touchdowns. Savion Williams, give me a fucking break.
Yeah,
that cost me coins there for Josh Hoover.
Savion.
Unbelievable, bro. He's him. And then NFL, pretty solid. I still got the Ravens pending tonight. Jovan, how are you looking?
I think between the two, I'm perfectly 500.
Okay.
I believe.
All right.
7-7.
All right. Not Rav's best work on Friday either, but that's okay. VT2 under.
I do want to mention that from this preview and the meat sheets, somehow I weaned out the cake and took 6 winners, went 6-0 on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
6-0 on Saturday? Just straight bets?
On Saturday.
Just straight bets, just tailing the meat sheet and the previews.
Wow.
I know
Yeah,
you're
it was like-
tailing from me, UConn and the
and the
Coach
Charlotte
Fired.
over.
Double
and then
Coach
I took.
Fired system.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I was talking about that over.
Yeah,
so I know you had that.
I took
What else
that. I
you got?
took the TCU over. I took UConn. I took ASU. So that was my only play on my own, obviously. And
Mm.
then Ohio State tailed Rav, and then there's one more in there I'm missing. But I forget. Never mind. But yeah,
Okay.
6-0. I weaned out the cake.
Good shit, Goots.
Yeah.
Attaboy. We got OG Sour coming in, dropping a resub. Let's start off Thanksgiving week with a banger Monday. Cheers, Jovan and Krabs, W Bookit community, WOG Sour. Yes, good. Little quick update here for the week and how it's going to go. We're going to run it every day this week except for Thursday. I believe TMA is doing the same thing, potentially with a Thursday episode. No show today, obviously, or it would have been before this. Mikey's traveling home for the holidays, but I do believe we're going to get TMA the rest of the week and BTL the rest of the week as well. And Surge, I know for a fact we got Surge this afternoon. So get ready, get those winners locked in, get those sell jobs primed up and prepped because Trent's going to need to hear them after BTL today. All right. Yeah, we do have Surge later today, guys. Get ready. Okay. We got something else to get ready for here, and it's not going to be fun for me, but it should be fun for you guys. Why don't we go ahead and run it, Gootsy? I'm trying to get pissed. Well, Chad, it was only a few weeks ago when the Commanders were sitting at 7-3, right? 7-3, looking pretty sharp. 7-2, maybe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's all completely crumbled down. It's all completely crumbled. Now, I saw this all throughout the week, and people were asking Coach Cliff about this as well in the media pressers, saying, hey, Cliff, I look back, I checked the data, I checked the Carfax. Pretty much your offenses always start out unbelievably, and then they fall off a 1 million foot cliff towards the end of the season. No pun intended there with Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff.
If you look at what's going on at his time in, Arizona, his time right now, obviously a short stint in DC, it's kind of what's going on right now. And the play calling has been fucking dog shit. I notice it. I'm sure regular fans, not even of the Commanders, notice it as well. The play calling's dog shit. But there's also some serious issues with this team that I talked about before the season that are starting to show up and hurt us. The O-line has taken a step back. We've gotten bullied 3 weeks in a row. Our O-line has. Jaden has no time to throw the ball, and when he does, it's not his best look. Although he did turn on, he turned it on at the end of the game, but overall, he did not look sharp in that game. And the defense obviously has a serious issue in the secondary that they need to fix for next season. Guys, before the season started, I was excited about what we have. Obviously, a pretty high on Jaden Daniels, like the coaches we have coming in, especially the assistants. Dan Quinn, good motivator. I knew it wasn't going to be, a Super Bowl right off the rip, but they had me feeling right after like 7 or 8 weeks, Jovan. I thought we were going to be a team of destiny. Clearly, there's a lot more work to do with this team, and their flaws are really starting to come through. And then we got Austin Seibert, obviously, coming back from injury, who's had a couple incredible games for us this season. He's won us games this season, right? And then he goes out there and misses a field goal, misses an extra point. Costs us a game after Terry McLaurin somehow finds the end zone with like 20 seconds left. Unbelievable ending to that game. And then the worst onside kick of all time from Austin Seibert, where the Cowboys guy just runs right into the fucking end zone in 3 seconds. The worst kick of all time. Austin Seibert, man. If you're not healthy, you're not healthy. You cost us the fucking game, buddy. We could have had Zane Gonzalez out there banging an extra point, taking us into OT, and I like our chances at beating Cooper Rush in overtime, I'll tell you that much, but we didn't even get there. Sucks. And now we are 1-4 against Cooper Rush. Let me go ahead and say that again. The Commanders are 1-4 against Cooper Rush in his career. Let me flip that around for you. Cooper Rush, 4-1 against the Commanders in his career. That's fucking nuts. That is not acceptable. God, moose shit game. You can't lose to the fucking Cowboys when they don't even have Dak Prescott out there, man. No excuses. This team took a huge step back. I take full responsibility for the Super Bowl future that I locked in. 3 straight losses since that moment.
Well, I still think this is a 10-win team, Krabs. So it's not all bad. Not all bad at all. I think you really got to start sounding the alarms. Really, I guess if they lose either of the 2 next games, but especially if they lose to the Saints off a bye, which I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm hoping that for your sake that holds up. So we've got an
We need that bye
auto-tail
week.
redemption.
We need that bye week now. We do have an audit tail redemption coming in from Conman131313. Where's my man at? Conman in chat. No way
Illinois
he's making me
State ML.
fade GW, bro. What?
That could be sharp, dude.
No, that's a shit play.
That could be sharp.
That's a shit play.
I'm tailing. Have to, I guess. But
Hold on. Yeah, we do have to tail. I'm trying to find it in the chat. Here we go. Trying to take a picture of it. All right. Illinois State ML versus George Washington. We have to tail that. Why couldn't you have waited an hour for the surge stream, my man? You don't want to wait? You wanted us to tail this play? Maybe you wanted me to fade GW here. Are you kidding me? It's a 3 p.m. start. GW laying 1.5 here. I think they're playing in the Virgin Islands, I believe.
Yeah.
So neutral sites. Yeah, weird game. I mean, you guys know I love GW. Biased. I like to go to one of their games every year at least. Illinois State, kind of a wagon as well. It's going to be a good game. I'd probably lean GW, but now I have to bet Illinois State. I'll tell you right now, I'm not putting a full unit on that shit. No chance.
I'm putting a full unit. I'm locking.
I'll put $100 on that. Okay. We got KD Meester coming in, dropping a resub. At least you're not a Giants fan, Krabs. That's a good point. That's a very good point, KD. Way to keep it in perspective. I agree.
I agree. I'm tapped.
Yeah, Big Rob. Maybe say it a couple more times in chat, and then I'll address it. All right. All right. Let's lock in here. Why don't we go ahead and get to some of the plays for today?
Why not?
Let's get into some winners for today. Let's get into the sharp report. Let's see what we got cooking up over here for Monday nights. We got a lot of great games tonight. We've got college basketball all day, pretty much throughout the rest of the week. Epic. We've got Monday Night Football, obviously. We've got NBA, NHL. I'll go ahead and get it started, though, on the ice. And yes, I am laying a little bit of juice here. I don't care. Ottawa's a winner tonight on the ice. I'll take them. They've lost 5 games in a row. They look like fucking dog shit. They're 8-11-1 this season. They're playing a Calgary team that's looking much better. They've won 4 games in a row. They're 12-6-3 this season. Ottawa playing in their worst stretch so far this year by far. I mean, they've got the talent. They just have not put it all together on the fucking ice. And they're laying 165 on the ML. I mean, they open up like minus 150, and we've seen some steam as well for Ottawa. This team does not deserve any steam. Come on. It's got to be Ottawa and the Senators at home tonight on the ML. Yes, I'll lay some juice on it. It is what it is. I'm not going to lay the minus 1.5 with the total line around, 6, 5.5. No, thank you. That total's on the way down. I'll just take my chances. I'll put 1.5 units on the Ottawa Senators, and I'll go about my day.
I mean, Krabs, I can't support this. It's Dustin Wolfson, that dude. I want to fade my goat. But it is a fat line, even though they've had super fat lines for whatever reason every single time they play, even throughout the losing streak. But it is very odd. I will give you that.
Yeah. Weird. I'm going to lean into it there. I'm going to take the Senators on the ML.
I will say, I'm pretty interested. I think it's been a while since the Flames have beat the Senators in Ottawa.
Might have been years.
It
Let's say
legitimately might have been years. They haven't beat them in Ottawa. Holy shit, it's been a long time.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll swing around to Jovan's place. See what he's cooking up over there. He's going to the ice as well. Sure.
Yeah. I'm taking the Canes. Really weird situation, I guess, because I believe Spencer Martin's going to be in net for the Canes tonight. The Canes have been such a weird, wishy-washy team, but Spencer Martin's going to be in net tonight, partially because Kochetkov got concussed, and I don't know what his status is, so I'm assuming they're just rolling with him and Freddie Anderson, Spencer Martin and Freddie Anderson for the foreseeable future. I think they pulled another goalie up from the AHL or whatever, but it's going to be weird. The goalie situation is nowhere near anything that should inspire you any sort of confidence, especially when you have the Dallas Stars coming in, who have been, one of the better teams in hockey. They've been red hot lately, too. They just beat the Lightning and another team that's playing pretty well in Tampa. Now they're going to Carolina, which is a weird trip to make. I think this is a very important game for the Canes because not only is this the first game that they're going to have like a weird goalie situation that they got to establish for the next couple games, but this is probably the toughest 2-week stretch of their season that they're starting with this to happen, which is very unfortunate for them. But they go Stars here, then they host the Rangers in 2 days. They host the Panthers right after that. Then they flip flop and go to Florida and play the Panthers. Then it goes like weird stretch of games like Kraken, Avs, Isles. Isles suck, but they're going there. So this is a very important game, I think, for them to get and come out with a really good effort, defensively, especially partially to hide Spencer Martin. And also because you're playing the Stars, if you let them get a bunch of SOGs, that's not great when you let them be aggressive. So this is where kind of a similar thing where I'm banking on the Jets angle. The few times that I do bank the Jets, it's because it has to be in a spot that I really think everything has to go right for them, and they really have to come out with a game plan that works well against the other team. This feels like one of those games, despite who's in net. Spencer Martin's going to give up a couple goals, and the Canes are going to have to come out aggressive and early. And frankly, when the Stars have faced those teams the last couple of weeks, even despite as well as they've played, they have not fared all that well. So I think there's a reason why that Dallas Stars plus 110 against Spencer Martin looks awfully tempting.
All right. Fading the Stars. Back in Carolina at home.
Yeah.
I like it coming off of 2 losses.
Find a little good news too, because Seth Jarvis is coming back. I believe he's going to be back in the lineup today. So like he's going to be a pretty important deal in that game plan they're going to have to frankly hide Spencer Martin. So that's what I'm willing to buy.
Okay. All right. And you've got the Ravens on your cards. Let's talk about it. Goots is splurging.
Yeah. Win-win for me. I get to clown Lamar if they lose or get my unit if they win. But obviously, Spot coming off an embarrassing loss. I would say Lamar's worst game of the season by far against the Steelers, which I could say that pretty much every single year because he looks like dog piss against the Steelers. But now you get the brotherly Booper Bowl of coaches and a defense that's also really tough. I don't want to take anything away from the Chargers defense in comparison to the Steelers defense because they have been damn near as good, probably not better, but such a respectable secondary. This is where you got to play the Ravens at their own game. You got to be physical at the line of scrimmage. The Chargers are, but I don't think the level of the Steelers or the level of the Ravens, sorry. So you're going to pound with Derrick Henry. You really don't need Lamar to do all that much. Not saying because the defense is going to make him do it, but the Chargers are just kind of play Ravens football, just with a different style of quarterback on it. So you got to beat the Ravens at their own game, and I don't think you're going to do that. So I will take the Ravens. I assume it's going to be relatively popular today because it's Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in a bounce back spot on prime time. I don't really care.
Okay. I'm on the Ravens as well. I paired them with your Bucks in a 2-piece ML plus 126 parlay, but I do still like them on the ML on the spread tonight as well. I think they get it done. We know older Harbaugh is 2-0 against younger Harbaugh. When they faced off in the NFL, he's about to be 3-0. He's about to assert his dominance. A lot of shit talking about the Ravens of late. A lot of shit talking about Lamar. A lot of shit talking about Harbaugh out there in Baltimore as well. That's been going on for years, to be completely honest with you. I give my left nut to have Harbaugh be my coach. But look, I think he asserts his dominance and stuffs his little brother in the locker and hands him an L once again on the Reds. And the Ravens, seeing them open up at -3 in this game, I don't even care if they're down to -2.5. Doesn't fucking matter to me. The fact that they open up laying 3 on the road, coming off that loss where they look like shit, respectfully, and the Chargers have coming in off of 4 straight wins and covers. I mean, give me a break. It's not rocket science here. Great spot to back the Ravens on the road as a favorite, getting some respect from the odds makers. I'm willing to bet. Better chance they're right than the squares on the Chargers.
Yeah. I just love backing Stars in LA. It's a joke narrative, too, that me and Trent always talk about. And fucking Ellie goes to play in LA or Jazz Chisholm goes to play in LA. It goes across every sport. I mean, Saquon in fucking LA last night. Going to break the single season rushing record because of that game. Give me Lamar and Derrick Henry in LA to have a crazy game, as much as I hate to say it.
All right. Yeah, let's hope they show up and show out. Now, we talked about the total for Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. I think on BTL last week or maybe after BTL, but I liked both overs. I liked the over last night. I liked the over in this game, but I think you had a great comment last week, Jovan. You said, well, maybe wait and see how Sunday Night Football goes, because if that game goes over, you probably don't want to back the over on Monday Night Football, right? And that stuck with me. And now we're here.
Did it?
Yeah, so I'd say, that over, it's still probably a pretty good look, and it's still, totals up 3.5 points from that opening line. But after that over smack last night, I'm not saying we're not going to see points tonight. We certainly could. And I do like that angle, Stars showing up in LA. Don't get me wrong. We've seen that in every sport over the last couple of months, years, right? Yeah, I just can't bet an over after what we saw last night. But I do lean the over in the total. But I have a strong read on the Ravens here. They get this win. They get it done. That's the right play in this game.
I'm in.
All
Definitely,
right?
yeah. Scares me a lot seeing the total and looking at how yesterday's game went. Fantastic game for props. Trent splooging, even though took the wrong side of the game. But
Sure.
yeah, that game had fireworks and a lot of points. I find it, I don't want to say hard to believe, but usually you get one, you don't get the other. So, I mean, I guess that kind of could lean into both teams. You can make the argument, but I want to lean on the Ravens for that because I think they're going to establish the ground game, even though the Chargers are a really tough team to do that against. It's a whole different beast when you're facing Derrick Henry in that rushing attack and a running quarterback as part of it.
Yep. That's facts. We got a couple subbies coming in. We got Chiote coming in, resubbing for 23 months. W Chiote. Appreciate the glaze. Appreciate the resub. What's up, Krabs?
Glaze.
Despite A&M putting me in rat shit, you could put your crab meat on table. They covered this weekend. Lick me also. W Jovan meat. Okay. Big Matty Mark coming in resubbing. Great slate for some winners. Let's go. Yes, sir. Big Matty Mark. Could not have said it better myself. I agree. And then one more chat. I just noticed Bryce Young is him. Yeah. Shout out Bryce Young for keeping that game close, making it weird against the Chiefs. Impressive.
I would love to give Bryce Young so much credit. It's just, I hate the Chiefs, dude. They just play with their food every fucking week. It's every game. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how bad you are. They will let you in the game.
And every single time it's down to the end, Pat always has time. There's never zeros on the clock when the team ties the game. Never. It's always time.
Dude. Always time. And like yesterday, he had, the most time of all time. He had like almost 2 full minutes and 3 timeouts. There was legitimately no solar system. They didn't go down and win that game.
People do forget my Krabs, my fantasy sleeper was Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, and he's actually him.
Grubbing,
unbelievable.
Dude. That was one of the best no RB draft strategy picks maybe of all time.
Yep. Now it cost me in another league where I didn't really go running back heavy, and I was going to take Chuba late and ended up with Eckler as my RB1. I'm going to finish in second to last in that league. So it didn't work out perfectly, but I also got Chuba taken in the round I was going to take him in that league. So he fucked me there, but in a couple other leagues I got him. Chuba's been a beast. He's been a fantasy league winner so far this year.
Victory lapping sleepers. I would love to victory lap Jonnu Smith because he is literally Gronk. He's won me multiple weeks now in a row of just being ridiculous. I've been running I put him in my flex in a couple leagues like the past couple weeks because I have Trey McBride in a couple leagues. I've had picked up Will Dissly. I've just been running Twin Tower tight ends and he's been grubbing. And yes, of course,
Jonnu Smith.
Of course, Bucky goes without saying.
Yep. Matt, sorry for the Sam Darnold cake, my man. Appreciate you tailing though, but that was a moose shit play. Bucky Irving, him. Yeah, Bucky balled. Great read there, Jovan. Good call. Good call. All right. Let's keep it in line here. I'll head to the NBA for my last play, and then we'll swing it around to Jovan. Give me the Kings tonight, late night against OKC. 12-4 OKC, not playing their best this season, but the record shows, that they're winning games at least, but they haven't covered their last 3 in a row. And they've had some weird sus losses in there as well. They lost to the Spurs on the road. They lost to the Mavs as 7.5-point favorites. I give them a pass there. That's the Mavs. But tonight, I'm looking at the spread late night on NBA TV, late night NBA game, OKC versus Sacramento. I'm seeing a Sacramento team under 500. I'm seeing a Sacramento team that everybody loved before the season, and by now they probably hate this fucking team's guts because of all the coins they've cost them. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They've lost 3 in a row. They're not playing well, and they played last night. They played Brooklyn last night, and they lost as 10.5-point favorites. They've lost 4 games in a row now as favorites. Sorry, they lost against the spread 4 games in a row as favorites. They've lost 3 games in a row outright as favorites. Crazy bad stretch for Sacramento. This team does not look great. They were a sleeper team that everybody had on their radar before the season. By now, nobody wants to bet on them, and the splits show that as well. I'll take my chances with the Kings here at home, lighten the fucking beam potentially here, but I will take the points. I do think they keep this game close. I thought that spread was short. I like the way the spread's moving down to 4 some places. The splits look good, and the Kings need to win bad, coming in off of losing 3 straight games. And OKC, they should probably be laying more points than that on the road here, even if it is on the road. Right? That's some disrespect there for OKC by the odds makers. I'm willing to take a stab at Sacramento here, still under 500, only getting 4 points at home.
Sure. I don't have a problem with that. OKC, still doesn't have a big man, so I would assume Sabonis is going to do likely whatever he wants right now, and SGA is going to be playing hero ball on the other side. Seen a lot of his points today, which I could get down with. So, I don't know. I think the Kings keep it close. This could be the weird game they lose, especially coming off that long-ish layoff. Down with that.
Yeah, OKC hasn't played in like 5 days.
Yeah,
kind of weird.
Been a bit.
Maybe it could be a little rest versus rust situation here. People wanted to take a rested OKC, not want to take the Kings at home, who played last night in a back-to-back. I think you do the opposite. You fade the team coming in with some rust, and you back the team that just lost last night as 10-plus point favorites. Embarrassing.
Sure.
Back them at home. They got to wake the fuck up and get going here. Embarrassing loss last night for the Kings. We'll see if they can turn it on tonight and get a win or at least a cover. All right? Sure.
And
what are you cooking up over there, Jovan? You got one more play?
Dive into the weeds. Abilene, Southern Miss over. Weird game. I thought this was odd that there was this large of a move because moving up pretty fat on a neutral court. So like in games like this, you don't really see that too often. But the more I looked into it, both of these teams are relatively small. Like Abilene Christian, especially, they don't really have a true big man. They never have. It's not the way they play. They kind of play 5 out with just a small lineup in general. So when you're on a neutral court, what does that mean? That means both these teams are going to slash. The thing with Abilene Christian is they cannot keep teams off the free throw line. They foul a shit ton, which is huge because Southern Miss is not a great three-point shooting team. They're also relatively small. They have a couple guards that are not great shooters. So like all they want to do is get to the rim. Like I'm looking at some of these past Abilene Christian games, especially like the last couple, which shout out Kennesaw because on their home court, they did just beat Rutgers last night. Super slept on.
Crazy.
Talking about it. But Kennesaw, you want to know how many times they went to the free throw line in that game against Abilene Christian, Krabs?
I'm going to guess and say 30.
41 times. And they had 84 points in the game. Texas State only scored 60 points in that game. The defense is actually good. You want to know how many times they went to the free throw line? 38.
Jesus.
So they cannot keep them hands to themselves. It's a big problem. And a little bit of it is just because they're undersized. Like you put pressure on their defense and they're going to hack you. They're going to foul. So, I mean, this game in Montana, if I'm Southern Miss, I know I'm not the best three-point shooting team. I don't really have guys that are just spot-up shooters, and I have guards that can really get to the paint. What am I going to do? I'm going to drive to the rim, and it's either going to be one of two things. I'm going to score, or I'm going to get fouled and get sent to the free throw line, where they have obviously been significantly better than they are from the three-point line. So this game just screams like slasher's heaven, and when it does happen to be some of those games where Abilene Christian is in a faster game where a lot of these teams are doing this, they're willing to run with a lot of these teams, which happens to be the case, like against Kennesaw in that game, like even a little bit for Texas State. I know it was a lower scoring game, but like Texas State, when they decided they want to run and flip that switch, they did the same thing against TCU. So like they're willing to run with them. So give me an over in this game. I thought it was, again, odd that total moved up like 4 points and we're on a neutral court in fucking Montana between Abilene Christian and Southern Miss. I think it's for a reason.
All right, high total moving up. I'm with you. Let's hope that foul angle stays true and we see plenty of hacks in this game tonight, 9 p.m. Not a tournament game? Is it a tournament game?
Yeah, it's the name of the tournament. The Basketball Travelers Invitational.
Sure. How could we forget? Good.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know if somebody's hosting it. I would assume it's probably one of the Montana schools because they're in it. Montana State, maybe. But yeah, they're playing in Narnia.
Okay. All right. Let's hope we get some points in Narnia then. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's pivot over to some Prize Pick Squares chat. Let's get involved. I've got Lamar Jackson fantasy score tonight. I could not really choose between him and Derrick Henry, but after hearing Derrick Henry's getting bumped down for his rush attempts and shit like that, although I did just see Chase Brown run all over this Chargers team last week, might make a little bit too much sense. Make a little bit too much sense for me to lock in Derrick Henry. And like Jovan said, with Lamar Jackson coming in off a pretty poor game, pretty poor performance against the Steelers, I'm willing to roll the dice and back Lamar to carry this team to a win tonight. Maybe it goes over, maybe it doesn't. But I like the squares I'm seeing for Lamar up on the board. Besides his passing touchdowns, I like all the ones with his feet. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores a touchdown as well. It's been a while since he's ran one in himself. That could be huge for this fantasy score as well. I'll take Lamar leading this offense to a big-time win against his former offensive coordinator, some former running backs, and obviously against, his head coach's brother. Weird game, weird angle, but I'll take Lamar as a favorite coming off a bad L to do his job and soar over his fantasy score. I'm starting him in my DFS leagues this week. I'm a big believer in Lamar going off tonight.
Yeah, I'm in on that. Love the rushing yards as part of it too. Say what you want about the Colts last night, but the one thing you can say when you got a team who's playing a pretty tough rush defense, and you have Derrick Henry just like the Colts had Jonathan Taylor, but they ran the shit out of Anthony Richardson from the first drive of that game on. He had like 40 rushing yards in the first drive. A lot of them were designed, so Ravens are playing a pretty good rush defense. The only way to neutralize that from the jump is get Lamar active on his feet.
Yep. Has to be done. Has to be done.
There's a lot of revenge angles in this game. Jim against John, Gus, JK against the Ravens. But the one angle is Greg Roman going against the Ravens. That's the one guy who's going to shit down leg and lose in this game.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. That's the plan, Goots. That's the plan, my man. I'm with you. And then Justin Herbert, guys, no reason why this normal square should be up on Prize Picks. Let me go ahead and give you the breakdown. Jovan pointed out that it was a gobble square earlier on, and it is now a normal square up on Prize Picks, which is a great sign. If you ask me, people might not think it's a great sign with the way the odds are moving, but people are probably betting the less an interception because if you look at the charts, he hasn't thrown a pick since week 2 of the season. This guy's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row without throwing a pick, taking care of the football. That's part of the reason why this team has found so much success. Justin Herbert taking care of the football. But tonight against a pissed off, angry Ravens defense after getting embarrassed by the Steelers, I think they show up and they hand Justin Herbert his first interception in 9 weeks. It was minus 135, minus 140-ish for him to throw a pick in the first place until it's now moved down to minus 120, minus 125-ish. Sure, I don't like the way the line's moving, but the fact that Justin Herbert was minus 140-ish to throw a pick when that line opened up in the first place when he hasn't thrown one in 9 weeks, to me, it's one of those scenarios where the opener matters more than the closing line, and this is the perfect time to lock in Justin Herbert to throw a pick tonight against a stingy, pissed-off Ravens defense.
Yeah, I will be taking that too. And it's pretty odd that not only is it up, but there's a demon option for it, which why the hell would there be a demon option up for Justin Herbert interceptions when that hasn't been up a single time? The demon option hasn't, and he hasn't thrown one since week 2. You know what I think is going to get him in trouble a little bit in this game? Because people are mentioning it in chat because the news, I guess, just officially dropped that Roquan Smith is going to be playing. Because somebody said, he's not going to give him a single opportunity to throw one. The guy that's going to be in Roquan Smith's spot is a horrendous cover linebacker. So what does that mean? I think if you're smart, and if you're the OC, and if you're Greg Roman or Jim Harbaugh, you're going to attack the middle of the field a lot more than Justin Herbert has had to do in the past couple of weeks. What does that do? Surely, I mean, if you connect on the passes, it's an advantage there, but you're going to be throwing the ball into dangerous territory a lot more than Justin Herbert has done really since week 2. So you will be throwing an interception. And yes, it's literally what I just said, Chad, that he's not playing. The guy that is in for him is horrendous. So they're going to be trying to attack him over the middle of the field.
Damn. Mikey's on the Chargers. True Tyler coming in with a resub. Been a while. I've been here live. Let's hit a squad ride tonight. Yes, sir, True Tyler. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining, and thank you for the resub. 32 months. Beast. And we got DeGen coming in resubbing as well for 32 months. Wow. Let's go, DeGen. Sure we can. DeGen, Chargers or Ravens tonight, my man? Let me know. Chargers or Ravens? And whoever was bitching about the interception squares in chat earlier, I just don't get that because they've been smacking. Knock on wood. They've been smacking. Haven't heard any bitching. Haven't heard any celebration either or praise. Typical, but no bitching because they've all been hitting. Crazy.
Yeah.
Hit another one over the weekends with Criswell.
They've been for the last, I don't know, handful of weeks. You've been pretty dialed in.
College and NFL.
I think you finished with.
Yep. College and NFL. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. All right. We got some Jovan squares we can talk about.
Sure. I'll take you before we get to VT bitching. Avs Lightning is a weird game because I'm a little scared. I like goals in this game, just period. But I think it's going to get weird. I know the Avs have been red hot. They've been getting healthier, and the Lightning are coming off a pretty disappointing performance. Like everything in me, and I think you alluded to it too, kind of wants to bet the Lightning at home, but I have a feeling, especially with the way this game went when the Avs were super banged up, super shorthanded, the Lightning went into Colorado and beat the piss out of them from the start. And obviously, like the Lightning want to do that because uh, they had their little revenge angle from the Cup. They get super fired up every time they play the Avs. Feel like this is going to be a little different, and not only because like Jonathan Drouin is going to be part of the fold, not for this square specifically, but there's revenge angles everywhere. Avs are getting healthier. They're playing better. They do play well when they're in Tampa. So I have a feeling they might win this game. I do have a feeling they have goals too. And when the Lightning play the Avs, they put all the emphasis on shutting down the top line. They leave themselves very, very, very exposed to the second line, which a lot of the times it ends up being Rantanen. Now you have Nichushkin back, and the guy who's sitting right in the middle of it all is Casey Middlestad, who I think is going to be involved really somehow, any way you slice it. And I feel like this game is, like I said, going to have goals. This is a pretty odd square to be up for everything considered in this game too. And I think it's because that second line is going to destroy the Bolts tonight. I think they produce multiple goals. I think Middlestad can score one himself, but he'll certainly be involved. I mean, you got a certified lightning killer on either side of him on the wing there with Nichushkin and Rantanen, who absolutely rip against the Lightning. And not only like do they put so much emphasis on shutting down like the top McKinnon line for obvious reasons, but when that second line does come in, even when like Middlestat wasn't with the Avs and a part of it, when there's three other centers in there, they come out and they're super, super aggressive. I don't think that's an accident. So I am taking Casey Middlestad to be a part of something. So I'm taking that. Then Danny Wolf has to be taken. Krabs. VT is. I just don't know who's going to match up with him at the 4 because we're talking about it like Petit's big on the inside. He's going to be matched up with Vlad Golden. Other than that, I mean, they're just super small in general. And just like TCU was a prime example of this too when they played Michigan, like they can somewhat hang with, the inside size with Vlad Golden, but everywhere else they were kind of small. When that happened, Danny Wolf has been super aggressive because you pointed out they don't play their two bigs on the floor at the same time, but Michigan sure as hell does. And Danny Wolf is 7'1" with a significant size advantage of whoever, VT is going to be able to put on him. I feel like this is a game where he's super aggressive, both getting to the rim. They're probably going to put the ball on his hands quite a bit too to play make in the middle of the court. That's what they love to do. And he's going to have a massive game, I think. So regardless of whatever way the game shakes out, I think it has to roll through him.
Yeah, I mean, VT's small. They also stink. But I'll tell you who's going to be covering him. It's Tobu Lawal, the Cal transfer, who's probably more like a small forward who plays the power forward for us. Yeah. He's going to be covering Danny Wolf, and he's about 6'8".
Yeah.
So
good luck.
Yep. That's a great square. Danny Wolf probably going to carry the Michigan offense to a big-time win against the Hokies tonight. Sure, that spread looks a little bit short, but that could be some leftover respect from VT's previous teams and the previous, solid squads they've had. They've won some games. They've had some, pulled off some upsets in recent years, but this team is a shell of itself. Okay, they stink. They're terrible, and they are probably not even going to hang around in this game. And I'm thinking maybe because we beat them the last time a couple years ago when we played them, that could have something to do with the spread being where it is. Sure, it looks a little bit short on paper, but I mean, it's a neutral site game in a weird location in Fort Myers. So they're not going to have Michigan be laying 15, right?
Wouldn't be shocked if the game ended up being kind of close. Like I don't know. I don't think it's going to be close because of Danny Wolf, but I don't know. I've watched Michigan a couple times this year, and they're really sloppy. Like TCU, frankly, should have lost that game. They ended up losing by 12. They should have lost that game by 30. They just handed them over, turnover after turnover after. Like every bucket on a silver platter. So I mean, if VT can force some turnovers, I wouldn't be shocked if that game ends up being kind of close.
I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I'm definitely not betting it. I'll tell you that.
Chat's asking about the Charlie Kolar half a fantasy score square that's up for the Ravens. Gootsy, you got any opinions on your guy Charlie Kolar tonight?
I mean, I don't know how you cap Charlie Kolar, but I mean, what's the square?
Half a fantasy score.
I mean, yeah, if he gets a catch, I guess that cashes, right?
Yeah, as long as it's not for
I would
negative
put that in entry.
6 yards.
But meat on table square is Justin Tucker fantasy score.
Wow, I'm in. I'm already in.
Yeah. Fuck the haters.
Already in.
Justin Tucker's got a goblin 1.5 field goal square. That's got to be a great sign. Got to be a great sign. 8 kicking points.
He might
Does he have a
bang the
fantasy
game
score?
winner from
Square up
60
too?
yards.
9 fantasy score. That's probably what you would take, right, Goots?
Dude, Justin Tucker in a dome, dude. Or not technically a dome, but pretty much indoors.
You know, we might have to put Justin Tucker in something. That could be a W revenge angle. He's been getting chirped a lot. Maybe he shows up and cashes that high-ass fantasy score. 9? Are you kidding me? And seeing that he's got a goblin 1.5 field goals after only kicking 1 field goal the last 2 weeks, only kicking 4 field goals the last 4 weeks combined. He's got a 1.5 goblin up.
Definitely kicking more than those. Just it's only making those.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Definitely like that 9 fantasy score, though. Sure. Today's going to be the Deontay welcomes the Ravens. Welcome to the Ravens game out of nowhere. Pega, I had the same thought earlier. So maybe we go take a peep at Deontay and see what he's got
I don't
up.
think
if
he has
has
stuff
anything
up. I was looking because I was curious about that too, because it's been a handful of games. Everybody's tried to snipe the Deontay game, and
He's got nothing up.
Anywhere close to panned out, but we don't have squares up for him yet.
Got nothing up. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I like that angle, Pega. Kind of weird his squares aren't up right now. To be honest. Adam said, I'm throwing everything I have on the Ravens tonight. Goots and Lamar to the moon. Yeah, Adam, I agree, man. I don't care how many people are on it. If it's square, I don't care. I'm taking the Ravens. I don't think it's square. All right, Danny Wolf, PRA, Casey Middlestat, more than half a point. Love the Danny Wolf square, like the Middlestat square. I'm sure you're a little more locked in on the ice or in that game, especially than I am, so I'll trust. I just lean Tampa Bay in that game. That's the only thing giving me the EBGBs. But I don't even know if I'm going to play it.
I don't even think
so.
I
Trust
because I just like goals either way. I'm not taking the Avs, not just because they're playing the Lightning, but there's going to be goals. Squares it might be.
I don't know if we can take Frankie Fiddler again for right capper. I'll be honest. Might have to hang it up.
I wouldn't mind.
I'll take a peep
Frankie
at it.
Fiddler. I wouldn't mind it.
I'll take a peep at it. I took it last time and it didn't fucking hit. Now it's up to 12.5 against Colorado.
Colorado cannot defend a park hard.
I mean, yeah, that total. Let's take a look at that total. Up to 144.5. Yeah. I like Sparty in the game. I don't hate the Fiddler angle. I'm just hurt from last time I tailed it probably. I like it, and I like Spartans in that game. I'd lean their -8 on the spreads.
Speaking of,
in a neutral site game.
Fuck AJ Hogard.
Yes. No, he's not goated.
He just doesn't show up.
Not for Vandy -4, but
the biggest game of the season last night against Drake.
I mean, Drake looked unbelievable, Goots. We got to give it to him.
Great story for
Drake.
the coach.
Drake's got a coach coming up from D2. He brought 4 of his starters with him, and they are unbelievable already. And they just won that tournament last night and beat Vanderbilt. Crazy. Shout out Tyler Nickel, by the way, who's averaged 13 points a game so far this season. The Hokie transfer for Vandy. How many he had last night? 0.
Sure.
0. Some of the worst shots I've ever seen. Tyler Nickel. If anybody in the stream knows you, please send this to your buddy. Let him know. Maybe this will be a wake-up call. I mean, are you shooting with the fucking blindfold on? What are we doing? I saw you airball 2 threes last night. You are a college basketball player who got paid $400,000 to leave VT to go to Vanderbilt, and you airball 2 3-pointers, and you score 0 points when the lights are brightest. Kind of looks like him in big games last year for the Hokies. Kind of the reason why he was a 5-star at UNC that fizzled out, didn't get any play time there, ended up at the Hokies, and then took the bag to go to Vanderbilt. Good for him. That'll be the only bag he gets.
So impressed we found a way to Hokies mention that was completely unrelated to the square that I was taking.
So pissed off
today. God, I'm actually really impressed. That was some of your best.
So pissed off. And I got to watch the good Hokies who left and got paid to go to Vanderbilt last night and lose, laying 4. Only college basketball loser of the day last night, but that one hurt. God damn it, man. Yeah, Nerfy Chad, those are expensive air balls, man. Straight up. God damn it. All right, let's move. Let's groove. We got 40 minutes left. We went over the prize pick squares. We went over the sharp reports. Okay. Can we talk a little bit more about Monday Night Football? I want to take a peep at prize picks. Maybe we could look at the Pickett splits on Pickett Pro first. But then want to take a peep at prize picks and see if there's anything else that's out there, sticking out, standing out that we could give a look to. Let's see what people are betting, Gucci. It's got to be all Ravens. Yep. Great.
Favorite in primetime game. Lamar in a primetime game.
A lot of Ravens bets, and that spread is holding firm. I don't like it. I wish I could sit here and say I liked it. I can't lie to you guys. You know it. I'm just being honest. Don't love seeing that, but sticking with it. I already have it locked in on the ML. So who doesn't want to back a 3-time MVP? It's a good point. Although I would have thought you'd see more people wanting to back, the red hot Chargers at home and that squad. That's what I would have assumed. But I'm wrong.
I'd find it hard pressed to believe that they'd move the line towards the Ravens even further with their arguably best defensive player out.
Yeah.
It's also Lamar off a bounce back. So, I mean, people love that, of course.
I respect the bend, don't break, fading the Chargers from Krabs, though. I'm a biased Bolts fan, so I obviously disagree, but I respect it. This is the letdown game, probably, like Lightning says. Well, shit. You know what happens when a fan of a team says something about their team? The opposite happens.
Not every time.
9 times out of 10. I'll give you 8. 8 times out of 10.
Yeah, give me 8.
Just beat.
Give me 8.
Chat, I know it doesn't feel like I'm very confident right now in the Ravens. I still am. I would still give it out as a play. I still recommend it. They get the win. I would not nuke it. This is not a 3-unit, 4-unit, 5-unit play. No. This is a 1-unit, 2-unit play. You go about your day, and you enjoy the game and enjoy the hardball. The hardball ball. Okay? I do still like the Ravens, even with all the bets coming in and that spread not moving. It is what it is. Who the hell thinks the Ravens are going to win this game? I mean, obviously, everybody on Pickett. Pretty fucking weird. Everybody on Twitter, too. Maybe the Chargers shock the world, but I'm willing to pay to see. I don't believe it. I'll fade them coming in off of 4 straight wins. They've looked great. I think older bro comes in and stuffs little bro in the locker. That's what I'm banking on here. All right? See how it goes. Chat's asking, why not take the over and sleep like a king? Don't hate the mindset. You might have came in here late as well, but I talked about it and talked about the Sunday Night Football total and Monday Night Football total. Jovan and I kind of came to the consensus of let's see how the first game, Sunday Night Football, plays out with that total. And if it goes over, probably can't back the over in Monday Night Football because both of those probably aren't soaring over unless we're just getting back-to-back handouts. I'd be shocked if we did. My gut still leans the over. I like points in this game. Trust me, I do. But after seeing whatever the fuck happened last night, Saquon running all over the place, no chance I'm locking in coins with the over. Can't.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
fair.
Can't do it. Is Saquon the MVP? That's something else I wanted to talk about as well. Saquon is on pace to break the rushing record this season. I want to give Jovan some credit. You were screaming from the mountaintops about Saquon having a legacy season. Well, it's here. He's doing it. Do you think there's a chance that Saquon breaks the rushing records? Or do you think this could be the peak? I mean, he's coming off a career high, 255 yards. It wouldn't be crazy for you to say this is the peak. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say it's not the peak, especially being like you still got some tougher games coming up, like against the Ravens next week, I think, and still got to play the Steelers. I mean, the pace is probably going to slow down a little bit, but yeah, he's having a ridiculous season. He would probably be up for MVP if MVP wasn't a quarterback award for whatever reason. So it's probably still Josh Allen and Lamar's to lose. Should be Josh Allen's to lose, but I don't know. We'll see. He's definitely going to be in the running for, or probably the fat leader. I haven't looked at the odds for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep. As he should be.
The NFL putting that Eagles-Ravens game at 4:30 Eastern time with Philly and Baltimore fans tailgating before that game might be a big problem.
Yeah, maybe Uber to that game, Goots.
It's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, they've got the Ravens on deck. That's a tough defense to go against. I don't care how you slice it. It is. That's not a great matchup for Saquon there. Panthers, that could be a 250 piece as well. Steelers, they've got on the agenda. That's tough. it's not looking like he's going to be able to do it. But I mean, look, the season he's had, the breakaway touchdown run, he's had every other fucking game this season for 80 yards. I wouldn't put it past him if he did, because he's locked in, he's dialed, he's healthy. Their O-line is great. You guys asking yourselves why Saquon looks a little bit better right now in the Eagles uni than he did in the Giants uni? Look at the fucking O-line. It's night and day. The guy's running through gaping holes that you and me could fucking run through, Jovan, and probably get 20, 30 yards. Maybe not 80, okay? But 20 or 30, sure. Their O-line looks good even without Kelsey at center. But they've got their hands full, and he's got his hands full coming up, although they do have a game against the Giants in the last game of the season, Jovan. That's going to be cinema. If he can somehow put up, 100+ against the Ravens and the Steelers, maybe he balls out, puts up a 200 against the Panthers, Commanders. I mean, our rush defense, not great, obviously. Cowboys, and then finishes off with the Eagles. There's a chance. There's a chance.
It's a chance. There is also...
It's going to be must-see TV.
Obviously, if he's going for the record, they're going to play him, but there's a chance he might not need to play that last game, or at least play the entirety of it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, because if they need to if they want to rest him for the playoffs, or if he wants to break the record of all-time rushing yards, that's going to be an interesting predicament. See how that plays out.
Frankly, they're going to win the division, I would think, by then. Just all depends on what the Lions do.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton has been him. Absolutely him for the Eagles. It's crazy what a good O-line coach can do for you, Pega. They got a great O-line, man. They do. Have the Chargers beat a team over 500 yet this season? It's a good question. Let me look. I don't know if they have.
Haven't really played any of them.
Broncos.
Yeah,
they beat the Broncos.
I think that's
right?
the only one.
Yep. Yeah, their schedule's not been great.
Still good, though.
All right.
You can
What's up, Kylo? Yeah, I agree. We got Puncho Jones coming in, dropping a follow. W Puncho. We've got Baumgartner Jackson coming in, resubbing. Love to see that. They have such a cake schedule the rest of the way, so I think he can do it. Well, I wouldn't say cake with the Ravens and Steelers up on deck. But after that,
the
it's
best
cake.
Run defenses in the league. But yeah, after that,
the last 3 weeks of the season, it's cake, sure.
Last
but I
three,
mean,
it is cookie.
Yeah, he's got a tough couple games coming up here. We'll see. I mean, I've been so impressed. It's kind of a weird situation for me as a Commanders fan seeing Saquon ball in the Eagles, because it's like funny because the Giants are in piss, right? And the Giants fans are just hating their lives right now. So that part's good. But at the end of the day, it's still, an Eagles player thriving. So I don't find too much joy in it, but it's funny seeing him absolutely tear up every opponent every week after the Giants just let him go for an empty bag of chips. They said,
Really?
We don't want to pay you. We don't want to overpay you. Eagles said, we'll overpay. Come on down. And that could be the difference, because they don't have to put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands when the lights are brightest every single time. That could be the difference for the Eagles.
The Giants decided to pay Daniel Jones instead. So big brain move.
Smart move. Yep. That's got to be. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Okay. I want to talk about the CBB slate here, Jovan, because it is loaded and we didn't have enough plays. We only had one. It was your very surgical over. But I would love to, I don't know what the best way to do this is. Probably skip by and, stop at some bigger games. Would love some of your thoughts in a game like Memphis UConn. Big time game tonight. Spreads around 10, 8.5 actually right now. 2 undefeated squads. Memphis, I'm not a believer in, never have, never will be, but they're still undefeated, still doing job, and not getting many bets, at least on the ML. And the spread, they are a little bit. UConn, you can make the argument that maybe the spread's a little bit short, but like Jovan was saying earlier, before we got on here, this game's being played in Hawaii. So anytime the teams are traveling that fucking far, you could probably assume the spreads are not going to be as large for the favorites, kind of even to the playing field, at least minimally. I give you a couple points there, Jovan. Maybe it makes that spread not as weird, but I'd still lean Memphis. I just don't know if I want to play it because it might be the fake sharp PO day.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the strength to play really anything in this game. I don't want to fade UConn. Memphis, when they are dog, they're typically in a much better spot than when they're a fat favorite against a lot of these shittier teams they play. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little weird. Still got UConn going across the country plus some. It's just Memphis, I can never do it with their fucking turnovers, dude. They're one of the sloppiest teams. Penny is a horrendous coach. So it's going to be a Penny versus Hurley matchup, I don't have anything in me to take Penny in that game. I really don't.
Yeah. Lean Memphis. I'm not going to get to the counter. Seen a lot of Memphis tickets on the feeds. I'll see how that one plays out.
That's a good point too from Fort Wright Capper. Like Memphis is always dog in the first half, and then they go on their little run where they force turnovers against teams that aren't prepared for it. They've done that like 3 or 4 times this year. You gonna be able to do that against Hurley and UConn?
Good point.
St. Missouri, the team that went winless in the SEC last year. It's a little different if you think Penny is, I guess, gonna go on this run out coaching Hurley in the second half.
Yeah, that's more than fair. I agree. All right, what other games we're looking at is kind of funny. Colorado, Michigan State. Kind of hinted at that one earlier. Lean Michigan State there, neutral site in Hawaii. They're laying 8. Thought that was kind of a fat spread against undefeated Colorado. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, undefeated Colorado does not impress me the slightest bit. I mean, if anybody's actually watched Colorado, they're not good at all. They just had the benefit of playing a absolutely putrid schedule to start the year. I mean, obviously not the same team from last year. They lost pretty much every massive piece, so like it's not that it goes without reason. But they're going to be one of the bottom tier Big 12 teams, so I would not be shocked if Michigan State does run away with this one.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, they only beat NoCo by 2 points. So
yeah, it's kind of bad, dude. I will say, like, the Big 12, I think, is kind of shaping up to be what the SEC is turning out to be in football, where they're going to be super top heavy, and we're giving all of the teams, all of the shitty teams at the bottom of the conference, like Miss State and Auburn and Oklahoma, all the credit for what the top teams do, and the bottom of the conference is going to be fucking bad. And Colorado's one of them.
I agree. I want to play Sparty here. Not really liking the splits here, but not many bets on that game.
Yeah.
Still lean Sparty. Okay. Money Talk Sports. I love the Southern Miss over from Jovan. I had the over 72 team total for Southern Miss, so good little sharp play there. Sure. Also love Boise State game over as well, and Minnesota CMU under. Okay, cool. W's. Sadly, Duquesne was fake sharp, winless team favorites. Yeah, I've just learned Aloha bets to just not bet on Duquesne. Fuck that team. They don't respect coins. They never come through. They never win. Makes no sense why they have this aura or this, respect. I've never seen them win a game that mattered. They never do. Don't bet them. They don't respect coins. Yeah, Duquesne. That's what they really are. Yeah, Duquesne. What about Clemson, San Fran? 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Pretty solid game between 2 4-1 squads who I like. I don't love San Fran this year. I kind of love Clemson, to be honest with you. I think they're kind of a live sleeper in the ACC. But San Fran's coming off that loss to Memphis, Jovan, where they were winning at times in that game. They kind of blew it late. Clemson's coming in off a shellacking, and they destroyed Radford in their last game. But before that, they did lose to Boise. So both these teams have gotten a loss out of the way already. Now we're seeing Clemson laying 2.5 here in a neutral site game down in Florida. So a little bit closer to Clemson, still not very close to either school, especially San Fran. I was thinking about playing Clemson here, but do I want to fade San Fran coming off that loss directly? Probably not. So it'd probably just be a lean for me on Clemson fading the Dons.
Yeah, I don't want to fade the Dons. My gut tells me to fade the Dons. I don't want to do it after the way that last game went, unfortunately. But
okay,
it is, I believe, the first time they're going to be venturing away from their home city at the very least, because
it's a far trip too, man.
Yeah, going all the way to Florida is really weird. But yeah, they played all their games either at home or in San Francisco. So now they're going cross country against a veteran team for the most part, a pretty physical team too. So like, I don't know. I think it's a tough matchup for them too. And Clemson, I know you hate banking on teams to shoot, I guess, in these really weird neutral site games, but they, especially in that Boise game, they were pitiful from deep. And they're a team that has really good shooters across the floor. Like, I don't think that's something that's going to last. I think it's going to be something to hang their hat on the rest of the year. So maybe on a neutral site court, you don't love banking on regression in that area, but I think I would.
All right. Yeah, weird game. Probably just going to sit that one out and see how it plays out. Any thoughts on
that?
Go ahead.
Well, that we kind of slipped or skipped. Take a look at Merrimack, UMass Lowell at all. I feel like that's a Krabs game.
Yeah, but UMass Lowell is one of those teams that I just stick off to the side now too. Fuck them.
I agree. But you know how I feel about Merrimack playing against some of these teams that are actually relatively on their level. Because, I mean, they've been playing, obviously, much higher up comp. I love backing these teams that not only are playing these teams that have actually done pretty decently against better competition themselves. They just covered and almost beat Washington in a super weird game. UMass Lowell did. They did kind of get shipped on by Gonzaga, but I give them a little pass for that. This could be the spot where Merrimack steals one on the road. Weird little, I don't know, interstate game.
Certainly lean Merrimack. I don't fade UMass Lowell because whenever I do, I lose my bet. Just one of those teams that I've just learned not to fade anymore. But I do like Merrimack coming in off of scoring 39 points in their last game, losing to Butler. 39.
Yeah.
39 points.
It's
got to be Merrimack.
They're not hanging on offense there.
It's got to be Merrimack. I can't do it, man. UMass fucking covers every game. It's so annoying.
Fair.
UMass Lowell. Sorry, not even UMass. UMass Lowell.
The other one.
So annoying, bro. All right. Definitely like Merrimack there. Jovan, maybe you could talk me into it, but sounds like you're going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Cornell, Iona. You got 3-2 Cornell. Heading on the road, I believe, to Iona, who's lost 4 of their last 5 games, but they flipped from a dog to a fave after only scoring 43 points in their last game at West Virginia. Thought that was kind of weird as well. But these teams haven't played in about 4 days. I think Iona hasn't played about 5 days. So after they got spanked, maybe that's a good thing. They get to hit the reset button after only scoring 43 points against West Virginia there. Cornell, they're not great this season, in my opinion. They just lost to Robert Morris as well as -9.5 point favorites. Thought it was weird seeing that line flip, but not in a rush to fade Cornell after losing outright as a favorite. What are your thoughts, Jovan? Is it Iona or is it the Big Red?
So I looked at this because I saw the line flip too, and I thought it was interesting. Like, I wasn't willing to say it was incredibly weird because Iona still carries that name value a little bit, but Cornell they've always been kind of small. They're a 5-out team that obviously wants to shoot the hell out of the ball, but I feel like this is the smallest and least physical team they've had in quite some time, which is why I'm staring at that Robert Morris game right now where they lost by double digits and Robert Morris out-rebounded them by 15 in that game. I don't know how they hold up against Iona and their size inside. That seems like a death trap for Cornell. Like, obviously you can shoot over the top. That's kind of what they do, but Iona feels like they're going to grind out a game and make them win it on the glass. I don't think Cornell can do that.
Seems like the Iona alum have the Pickett connections set up because for some reason they're pretty public. And maybe, jokes aside, that could be why that line's moving too in a, low handle game. If they're getting, a couple bets in there on Iona, that could move the line from a short dog to a short fave for sure. And just seeing Iona at 1-4 right now, struggling so far this season for the majority of it as a favorite against Cornell, who has not been great, but at least better than Iona that we know. It's got to be Iona and the Gales. I just don't know if I'm going to get to the counter here. It's got to be the Gales, though.
Yeah, I might
got to
be.
Okay. What else? Any later college basketball games we got going on today? I kind of wanted to talk about Boston College and Missouri State because I want your thoughts. I don't want to fade Boston College. I hate fading Boston College. Again, another team that just takes my coins when I bet against them. But I can't ignore this line. We've got Boston College only laying 2.5 points against Missouri State. Now, what do we know about Missouri State, Jovan? If you're not a big college basketball fan, you probably don't know shit about Missouri State, but they have a pretty solid program, and they've been pretty solid over the last couple of years. Definitely an above-average mid-major, I would say. So not the weirdest team to be getting some respect on the lines against BC, but we can't ignore a +2.5 against a Power 5 school. Come on. What's good with this line? What's good with this game?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm so out on BC. I think that team, obviously, like, they lost every good part of their team, Quentin Post and McLaughlin, namely, but I don't think they don't have like a go-to guy to score when it feels like they need to, which is a little concerning. It's like right now that guy is like Donald Hand, who I don't know what he's such a frustrating guy to watch. So like I think Missouri's defense could give them a little trouble. Missouri State's defense could give them a little trouble. I'd never want to trust what Boston College can do offensively, because sure, they can come out and look halfway decent as a team like they did when they beat ODU by 30. But other than that, they've been pitiful and gone through really bad stretches in parts of games this year. I wouldn't be shocked if you get one of those today.
All right. Yeah, I lean Missouri State. I don't know if I'm going to actually fade BC or not. I got to have a pep talk in the mirror before that one. Hate fading BC. And they've been taking care of business this year. Can't ignore it.
They have.
Another game that I was really eyeing that I would love your thoughts on, Jovan. Quinnipiac getting 9.5 points against St. Louis. Quinnipiac is another scrappy team we've seen, be a kind of a cover machine over the last year and a half or so. Last year especially, they were a fucking wagon. They're coming in off a loss to UMass Lowell, sure, but that doesn't count because that team covers and wins every game. They're playing St. Louis tonight on the road in St. Louis, so not a tournament game. This is going to be on St. Louis's floor, so that's why maybe that spread a little bit fatter than you'd be expecting looking at some of these other games that are neutral sites. But St. Louis laying 9, not enough. I lean Quinnipiac here, and I honestly think Quinnipiac has a chance to win this game outright. I do. I like this team. I like the Bobcats. We saw how scrappy and how much this team grinded last year when they went on a great run. We were cashing on Quinnipiac. I think we fade St. Louis, who is just not a good team, to be completely honest with you. We've talked about St. Louis's struggles. They cost me coins against Wichita the other night. I want to fade them again.
I won't give you an argument there. I think you probably have a better handle on both these teams than I do, so I will tip cap on that.
Yeah, it's got to be Quinnipiac. +9, +8.5, depends on where you get it. Okay. The Screaming Eagles are playing Indiana State, and they're only getting 2.5 points. I would lean the Screaming Eagles. We don't have to go into that one, though. What about McNeese and Liberty? That's one that I want to go into. Would love to talk about McNeese and Liberty. You've got a red-hot Liberty team, Jovan. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're coming off of 2 upset wins in their last 3 games, and they're on a 3-game win streak as well. They just beat Kansas State. Liberty Bibberty just beat Kansas State. It might not be as crazy to us, Jovan, because we know that Kansas State team is a bunch of frauds, but to the general consensus, that's fucking crazy. People don't even know where the hell Liberty is. I'll tell you where it is, bumfuck Virginia. Weird-ass school. Typically has a good basketball team. They've ripped off 3 straight wins in a row here, Jovan. And I do think this is a neutral site game down in the Virgin Islands. So maybe that makes the spread make a little bit more sense. But you can't tell me McNeese flipping from +1.5, +2 to now a favorite in most places isn't a great sign for your Cowboys.
Yeah, should be a great sign. And I'll say this too, because I would not be surprised if this had something to do with Alan Breed. He's far and away, I would say, they've been their best player when he has played this year. If he ends up playing, because he's missed the last 2, maybe 3 games with an injury, I would not be shocked if that move is because he's coming back to play tonight. So I'm going to wait before I play anything there. But I think this is going to be a gross game. Like I like the under, and that might be maybe not by the picket splits there because there are only a handful of bets all on the over, but Liberty and McNeese match up pretty well with each other because they're kind of built the same way. Couple small guards and then just super athletic. Yeah, they like to run, but they're also like super athletic bigs that are not huge, not small. They're a little undersized. They're like 6'7", 6'8", 3 through 5. It's the same as McNeese. So like I think they're going to struggle in the half court to score, both of them, and it's going to be like a 60-55 type game, super low scoring, super gross. Maybe the total moves up a little bit if Alan Breed's playing and you get a better number, but I think it's going to be defense in the champ game.
All right. You want to wait and see the injury news for this game before we lock in a play?
Yeah, I probably would do that anyway, just because obviously I want to bet McNeese because they're my goats no matter what. I just would really hate to be buying good news with him coming back because that's literally everything for them.
Yep. You think there's a chance South Carolina upsets Xavier tonight?
Yeah, I know Goots thinks so. I would not mind getting there too.
Another neutral site game in Fort Myers, Florida. Okay. Xavier's still undefeated so far this season. South Carolina lost to Indiana, and they lost to North Florida earlier on this season. That was a bad loss. I remember that one. That was embarrassing. But fading South Carolina in tournaments, probably not a profitable move in recent years. We've seen this team go to a Final Four out of nowhere. We've seen this team win games they fucking shouldn't out of nowhere, to be completely honest with you. This whole program really does not make a whole lot of sense to me, the Gamecocks, to be honest with you. But they're playing a 5-0 undefeated Xavier squad tonight, and I certainly would lean South Carolina on the spread to keep this one close, and it's a good sign seeing the spread moving from 6.5 to 6.
Yeah.
That I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I also know it's a Goots POD.
if there's any conference that's performing, insanely right now, it's the SEC. So I think South Carolina at some point needs to make some sort of statement to show that they belong in the SEC, and this could be it. And I'm willing to take that chance.
Go Cox.
Yeah.
Damn
Good
right.
Cox. All you got to do is be physical with Fremantle, and he is a bitch down low.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, South Carolina, say what you want about their offense, say what you want about what they've done so far this season. They're physical. They'll punch you in the mouth a little bit.
What about Auburn and Iowa State? Looks like the Tigers are up to -4 on the spread. They're getting some respect out there in Hawaii. Is it Auburn, a team that I was very, very high on before this season? Or is it Iowa State, the Cyclones, who low-key are a covering machine and a team that steals people's coins left and right, not only on the gridiron, but on the hardwood as well?
Everything in me wants to say this is the don't overthink it. Auburn, I don't know, just spot where they roll. And this is one of the games where Iowa State looks pitiful. Something in my gut is telling me they might be stealing some coin tonight. But nobody wants to bet on them because Auburn's looked absolutely fantastic so far to start the year. Not only like beating the shit out of pretty decent or teams that we knew to be pretty decent on the mid-major side like Vermont, but like they went and got a massive win on the road, but neutral site was still in Houston. Now they get to go to the island and play Iowa State, a team that can at least match up with them defensively. Maybe they're a little undersized on the inside, but probably bigger than they have been a couple past years. Something in my gut tells me this is the game that Iowa State at least covers, but they might get this one.
Lipsy
Yeah.
haven't had that game yet, too. This could be it.
Yeah.
There's one thing I've learned in CBB, it's that you don't fade the Cyclones. As much as I'd love to back my Tigers here, can't do it. Can't do it. All right, Jovan. You are on the over in Abilene Christian and Southern Miss, which is up to 149.5. There is one more late night game I would love to talk about. Chat, we are blessed with college basketball fucking all day, every day, pretty much the rest of this week. W's. And I believe Gootsy put out a graphic earlier today with the electric games coming up for the rest of this week. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on the Bookit socials. If you want to check out the calendar, the big games coming up that are looking really, really good. We've got that on a graphic on the socials. Dayton and UNC. 11:30 p.m. on ESPN2, late night in Hawaii. UNC, last night took care of business, or the other night took care of business against Hawaii, kind of routed them there. And then Dayton's been taking care of business. They've won 4 straight games in a row after a loss to, they've won 5 straight games in a row. They just don't have their first game up there because it was against a made-up team. They're undefeated still, but they're getting 8 points, moving up from 7.5. Does UNC roll once again? They've already got a bad loss, tucked away in their back pocket. Or do they hand Dayton their first loss of the season, Jovan, laying this big number on a neutral site?
I don't know if they're hand them their first loss, but I don't know. This feels like an odd game because both these teams, you would assume, are going to do their best to keep the ball out of the paint. So like a weird one with like a high total. The teams are going to run, obviously, but man, there's probably going to be a lot of 3-point shooting in this one, and I don't know that I like that for points, and I don't know that I love that for UNC either. So I would not be shocked if Dayton made this one really weird late in the game.
Maybe a little Dayton look late nights. All right. Chat, any other questions about CBB games before we move and groove?
Let me know. Like you take Dayton on the ML, Iowa State on the ML, you come out with profit.
Yeah. I don't hate that gameplay one bit.
I do want to say this is that late night get back game, and Dayton's got some name recognition. I could see this being that play.
I could see that.
Kind of like Tar Heels here.
Yeah, I don't know if I can bet them after that shellacking in their last game, but I also don't want to bet a undefeated Dayton team. So need y'all to run through the NHL, NBA slate quick if you guys have time. Jovan, any other hockey plays that you want to put the people on notice for today?
I don't know that I have really all too much. Play those on the sharp reports, the Canes. I'm taking them despite all that's going on in that game. I do like the over in the Avs Lightning game, square and simple as that may sound. I think there's going to be goals. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lightning pull off a win, but I think at the very least it's going to come with something from the offensive end from the Avs. I'll tell you what I do kind of think too. I don't know how I'm going to play this. I've been, knock on wood, pretty spot on with the Rangers for like the last couple weeks. They got their shit kicked in towards the end of this road trip. We faded them with the Flames, so we took the over in the game against the Oilers, where quick shutout streak ended. Now they're playing the Blues, and they're shaking up their lines a shit ton because they're saying we've been playing like dog shit. They announced earlier today that like they're open to roster reconstruction, trying to get Trouba out of there, and a couple other people were named. I feel like they're going to come out pretty fired up today. So maybe that comes with goals. This might be another over, team total over, because I don't know if I want to directly fade the Blues. They'll probably make this weird. But it does feel like a game where the Rangers fired up. Lafreniere is finally up on the top line in PP1, or just on PP1, which is a big deal. So I feel like he's going to be pretty aggressive today, your little doppelganger. But I think the Rangers score goals. So maybe I'll take team total over there. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm in love with other than, I don't know, maybe a stab on the Preds, who have been rat shit. Just got a win over the Jets. Now they're playing the Devils. And whenever the Devils, Mikey Overs actually said this best, whenever the Devils are hanging around minus 150, they act like they've never played hockey before. Literally never played hockey before. And they're coming off of two damn good performances against your Caps and the Canes.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I want to take my Nashville money and run from Saturday because I know that team is supposed to be good and they've cost people so many coins this season. But I do like what I'm seeing out of the Preds, and shout out them coming through on Saturday. But I'll probably sit this one out and just see how it plays out.
Yeah. Down for
any NBA looks before we move on to the squad ride here, chat? I talked about the Kings late nights. I think that was the only NBA angle we really had today, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think I kind of want to take a stab.
There's got to be one more.
The one that I kind of want to take a stab at is the Clippers. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Kind of want that. If the Clippers weren't playing as well as they are, because obviously the Celtics have been playing as well as they are for the entirety of the season, the Clippers, as of late especially, have been playing pretty well. If they were playing a little worse, that would have probably been on the official card. But Kristaps coming back in Boston, this spot feels incredibly similar to what I did with the Warriors and when they went into Boston. And that was an insane game, insane win on the road. But Clippers, even without best player in the NBA, Norman Powell, potentially, might have to be.
Somebody in chat was asking, how is it not the Hawks tonight? -2.5 against Dallas. I'll tell you why it's not the Hawks tonight. It's because Luka is out. And we do not fade bad news in the NBA. It does not work. You buy bad news.
Yeah. It's also the Mavs, the road Mavs. Whenever there's short spread, the home Mavs forget how to play basketball, and the road Mavs turn into the greatest team of all time, especially when bad news is involved. Just like on Friday when they were, +3.5 against the Nuggets without Luka, won outright. Then they came home and played the Miami Heat, blew that game late. Short spread, same deal. Now they're back on the road.
Definitely want to fade Porzingis and the Celtics with him making his debut tonight. But it sucks that the Clippers are playing that well, like you said.
I know. I wish it was a little worse of a team.
So I probably won't get to the counter with that. And I'm definitely not fading Dallas and taking Atlanta with the Luka news out. If anything, I would take Dallas on the spread.
Yeah, maybe you just stick
and
with
Atlanta's
your,
probably fake sharp.
Stick with your late night Kings.
Yep, late night Kings. Love that play. Money Talk Sports was saying it might even be the Kings on the ML. It might be, but I'll take the points. Okay. Give me the Kings late night. Nobody's betting them. That spread might get up to 5. Who knows? Who cares? Either way, play it. They're going to cover that game. It's going to go down in the last possession. And if the Kings fold once again, it'll at least be a one-score game, and they'll cover the spread. Okay. Love the Kings tonight. Might be my favorite play on the board today, to be honest with you. And I have to give my guy Burnett a look real quick before we get to the squad ride, because he was feeding me some winners on the Surge stream last week. He said, check out Jacob Pottle. I will happily check out Jacob Pottle. He's got a weird rebound square up there, apparently. Let me take a look at it. 11 rebounds. Okay. 2 words, green is mom. Extremely green. Anybody coming back for Toronto today?
I don't
I'm looking
think
at the.
so. I think
Looking at the
Scotty came back
injuries.
a couple games ago.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, they still have no Kelly Olynyk, but is that moving needle?
No.
Doubt it. He's been out. You guys want to fade Jacob Pottle's take his less than rebounds? Last time I faded this guy, he turned green once again, by the way. Want that on record?
Yeah.
So I don't know if fading Jacob Pottle's sharp. Yeah, I don't know if that's sharp. Oh, good. Shady Beeve and Jeff Rosa collab. McNeese -1.5. Well, at least you don't have to pay for it. There it is. Jovan, it might not be McNeese's year, brother. Shit.
We'll see.
Shit. All right. Jacob Pottle, less than rebounds. That'll be on something for me. I'm in. Burnett. You don't got to tell me twice. Come on. Come on. All right. Dubs. Well, chat, we could sell you guys this play and turn a profit on it, but instead we're going to do this together, and we're going to get to the squad ride here because we're not pieces of shit, and we're in this together, and we're a team. Gootsy, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. All right, boys. Here's the deal. Went 1-2 this weekend on squad rides. Not good enough, but we're still in the green for this month. Let's finish this month strong, okay? We still have all week for November. All right, we might not have a show Thursday, right? But we have all week pretty much. We got some time to get some squad ride W's moving and grooving, Jovan. Where do you think we start today, my man? Where's your head at? Don't care what sport. Don't care who pitched it. What's a winner that you're seeing on the board today?
I mean, I'm that late night over in CBB. I got in the
Your
weeds.
CBB over?
Yeah, I got in the weeds for that. I feel great about it.
Okay. Abilene Christian, Southern Miss over 149.5. It's crazy that anybody can feel great about that. It's impressive.
You're not wrong.
Impressive. I fuck with it. Ravens, how are we attacking them in this? Gucci, get up here.
I mean, we're not.
How are we attacking the
ML.
Ravens?
Can't take the ML.
I mean, it's got to be a spread, yeah, for putting it in there.
Why does it have to be the spread?
We can't just squad ride Justin Tucker fantasy score.
-160. Yeah,
I'm
we
seeing
can just squad ride Tucker
-148.
fantasy score.
I'm seeing -148 on Blue.
I don't know that I want to get to -150 either, Krabs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, I'm okay with leaving it out. I already have a bet locked in from yesterday with your Bucks on the ML with the Ravens on the ML. So I'm not pressed, although the Ravens is one of my favorite plays today. We can put them in on the spreads, or we could leave them out. I think we put the Kings +4.5 in here late night, first off.
Sure. In on that.
Leave the Senators out. They're extra juicy. We got to put the Ravens in here somehow, some way, right, chat? Come on. Come on. Come on. We got to put them in. Nothing wrong with sipping juice if it's green. I mean, I want to put the ML in, but I got 2 haters over here. I got ML haters.
You can make the exact call, Krabs. That's on
Krabs.
you.
When they win, they're going to cover the spread.
Goots, bless your heart, Goots. You're the
I know
man.
you hate that. I know
Hearing
you hate
that, hearing that makes me want to put the ML in there. Bless your heart. Bless it.
Fuck.
Okay, you're in such a right place. All right, you mean so well. We're putting the Ravens ML in here. If people don't want to lay that juice, they can vote for the other 2 plays.
Fair.
Ravens ML. 3 plays, 3 winners today, chat. We're smacking a squad ride, and we got the Surge stream starting up right after this as well with BookitwithTrent. So if you want to pitch him a winner, give him a sell job of your lifetime, get ready. T-2 minutes, okay, until the Surge stream starts up here. W's Trent back on the saddle. Getting some winners for Monday on a loaded slate. College basketball, NBA, NFL, NHL. We got a ton of fucking action tonight. Trent, if you're watching this, I challenge you to lock in a college basketball winner during third stream. I would love to watch you sweating that out, bitching, or, twerking, getting hype if it hits, right? Lock in a college basketball winner during the slate today. You got plenty of games going on right now. You can even lock in something live, okay? Chad, 3 plays, 3 winners. Ravens ML, Kings plus 4.5, and Abilene Christian, Southern Miss, over 149.5. Sure. 3 plays, 3 winners. Love it. Love it. Get involved, chat. Change your life. Click the right button, please. Okay? And please no Cooper Rushes in the chat. Don't need to see that right now. 4-1 against the Commanders. Cooper Rush. Again, it's why he has a fucking job. It's the same thing with Daniel Jones, why they kept him around for this long. It's why he has a job.
Yes.
Yes. That's why he has a job.
That's actually insane.
W Jermaine, W is this Caleb dropping follows, and Doodle Knight coming in giving out some subbies. W Doodle Knight as we wait for this squad ride poll. And looks like the chat is not fearing the juice. They're actually embracing it. Okay. Good. Love it. Jovan hates the play. That's okay. I feel good about it. They're winning that game. Trust.
I mean, I don't hate the play. I'm on the play. I just took the points.
Sure. All right. Well, now you're probably wishing you took ML, huh? How about it?
Probably just cash out of the spread and just go the ML then.
No way you're about to pull that.
I mean, what am I going to do, Krabs? Have a bet on the spread and the points?
I've been there before, and I've won that way, and I've lost that way, and it sucks. That's why I typically try to wait to lock in the bets, unless I know the line's going to move until after the squad ride.
I just hate. I always like to come on here with wagers I've already locked in, and I already have tickets.
Well, go ahead and rip that ticket up and lock in a new one. Ravens ML.
Yeah.
Get involved. All right, chat. Ravens ML, they take care of business tonight. Surely this goes well. Surely Goods gets one the hard way tonight on the road against his brother, the hardball. 2 words, chat. Hardball. Be there, be square. It's going to be an absolute movie. We got the surge stream starting up right now after this. And Jovan, we're locking in the Ravens ML for tonight. Wouldn't have it any other way. Sure.
Goods job online.
Sure. Stick around for the surge stream, guys, and make sure you're subscribed and turn the notice on YouTube if you're watching. Okay, hit the little bell emoji so you can get notified when we're live.